in this video, I'm gonna share with you the beginner's guide to B2B marketing in a way that is most effective. And I'm gonna break everything down into 5 easy steps that you must have in your business if you want to be successful at attracting more clients and closing more deals. But before I jump into the video, one word of warning, because this is specifically for B2B businesses. If you have a B2C, this is not the strategy for you. And equally, if you're B2B, please watch this video, because one of the biggest mistakes that I see a lot of B2B consultants and coaches do is that they implement B2C strategies on a B2B business. And if you're not seeing any success, maybe it's because of that. You should not be using B2C strategies on a B2B business because it will not result into clients. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. Now, step number 1, please have a niche. So one of the big mistakes that I see B2B consultants, coaches, or any service provider within the B2B space is that they don't have a niche, meaning that every time they sign a new client, they completely have to reinvent themselves and reinvent a new strategy, a different offer, a different thing for every single client that comes in. And no, you definitely don't want to have that. You want to have something that is very streamlined. You want to have a framework that is exactly the same, but you just have to model to that specific client. So please have a niche, and I'm going to walk you through exactly how you put one together. Okay, in its most basic form, a niche is made out of 2 things. So first, you have the who. And the who is very important to understand. Who is this group of people or the group of businesses that you work with? Now, this can be narrowed down to a specific category within an industry. It can be narrowed down to a specific department within a business. So let me give you some examples. So with industries, for example, it could be in the tech industry, in the legal industry, in the accounting industry. So it can be industry specific, or perhaps it has to do with a specific department within a company. It's not industry specific, but it's department specific. So maybe, for example, your offer and your services are specifically for sales departments, or maybe you work specifically with D&I directors or D&I focal points within the company. So the first thing, the who, really understand who are you talking to, because this is important. Sometimes though, we can get away with having a broad who or not having a very specific who, but the most important thing you have to have is the what, and the what is the problem. The foundation and the pillar and the most important thing in any business, not only on B2B business, but B2C or any type of business, is a problem. You need to own a problem and you need to solve a problem. So if you work with B2B, what problem are you helping them overcome, or what goal are you helping them achieve? It's very important for you to specify that. For example, it cannot just be a leadership coach. Okay, good for you. You're a leadership coach. Then what? What does that mean to the company that is looking to hire you or that you're looking to serve? Think about the benefits and the outcomes that the company will have after you do the leadership training. Now, for example, because of the leadership training that you provided, the company is now able to reduce attrition, increase retention, and also increase the employment engagement within the company, increase culture, all of those things that before your training they were not able to achieve. But whatever you do, whatever your service is, make sure that you articulate it in a way that highlights the benefit and the ROI to the company, not yourself. So that was step number 1. Step number 2, we now have to optimize your social media platforms. You know, I find myself saying this over and over again, that I feel that social media platforms are becoming even more important than a website. Because let me tell you something, if you outreach to a potential client, the first thing that they'll do their due diligence. They'll go and start Googling you. They'll go to your Instagram, they'll go to your LinkedIn and see what you're about. So you want to make sure that when they land on those pages, that it's congruent with what you picked on your first step, which is your niche. So for example, if you are in the B2B space, you definitely want to have your LinkedIn profile really well optimized. And I created a whole video on this. I'll leave the link here and also in the description below. After you watch this, go watch that video, because I'll tell you exactly the steps you have to go through to optimize your LinkedIn profile so that it looks like you are very professional in what you do and gets people to say, yes, let's work together. But of course, it's not only LinkedIn. Make sure you do the same thing for Instagram. Make sure you do the same thing for Facebook and even TikTok, because people will check you out. Okay, so that was step number 2. How you feeling? Because we're now going to step number 3, and that is start connecting with your ideal clients. Now, I made a whole extensive video talking about this and kind of shared my screen and show you exactly how you can use LinkedIn Sales Navigator to connect with your ideal clients. So you can use the filters. So basically, LinkedIn Sales Navigator is an extension of LinkedIn itself. It's kind of like a tool within LinkedIn. So you will definitely want to check that video out as well. I'm going to leave the link here, the thumbnail, and also the link in the description below. After you watch this one, go watch that video, because basically you want to make sure that now that everything is optimized, now that you know exactly who you're talking to and also what you're helping them achieve, make sure that you now start connecting with your ideal client and start building those relationships. So you want to use definitely LinkedIn Sales Navigator, because today, the day that I'm filming this video, you can connect with at least 200 people per week. That's a lot of leads per week, okay? So let's go watch that video after you finish this one. Okay, so step number 4 on your amazing marketing strategy is to start posting power content. Now you must be asking yourself,
what is this power content thing, Sally? I've never heard about that.
Now I call it power content because it's powerful. So basically when you do power content, you're able to build relationships, build your authority, and also build trust. We're all the 3 things you want to do if you want to resonate with people and you want them to buy from you. So that's why I call it power content. How do you put one together? Let me show you exactly. So what you want to do, you want to create anywhere from 3 to 5 new content posts, and that can be video, audio, or even written posts. But what you want to write about, you want to write about mistakes, you want to talk about myths within your industry, and you want to talk about also case studies that you worked on before and how they were able to achieve a specific goal because of your help. So basically when you create content that highlights mistakes, people start understanding the mistakes that you're doing to try to overcome that problem, and how that mistake, it is a mistake because it's not helping with the problem itself. And then you talk about myths because you want to talk about the myth that is around the industry. This does amazing to elevate your authority as well. And then the last thing, you want to showcase case studies because you want to make sure that people also get an understanding that you do work with companies and they're able to provide them results. So provide those 3 types of content. You can rotate them. You can have basically like a content pillars that you talk about specifically for those mistakes, limiting beliefs, or myths, and also case studies. And now step number 5, start reaching out to your ideal client. Okay, one thing is to connect with them. Now you need to start reaching out to them, and reaching out not in a salesy way. Please don't start going, hey,
How you doing?
and it all comes through that you just kind of try and tell them something. If you're gonna make a pitch, but do it in the right way. Make it in a way that is very authentic, very unique, and very different. What I like to do, I like to go outside of LinkedIn and send people an email because I feel that's more authentic. I can be myself. I can stand out from the crowd because everyone else is emailing them or actually sending them messages directly on LinkedIn. So, but whatever you do, get out of your shell, get out of this gel that you put right here in your mind, and start sending and reaching out to potential clients, because you never know that perhaps that's something that they're really struggling with and they would love someone that has your expertise to come in with their company and help them with that problem.